Genius is still figuring tech out.
Today's topic is about tech career paths, right? So there are various career paths in tech, and when everyone hears about tech, and some people instantly think coding, right? But there's so much more. There's cybersecurity, there's product design, there's UI UX, there's GRC, there's your full stack, there's your front end, back end, there's cloud. Like, it's so endless, right? And we all like have our own word songs or routes on how we like got into tech, right? So we're just going to talk about like how we got there and what we've learned, right? So we just like ask questions and just like pass around on our own view on
personal
this,
experiences.
right?
Yeah.
So I think the first question I'd like to throw out is what was your first ever role in tech, right? And how did you plan, and did you plan to end up there?
Okay. So let me start. So for me, it was my first ever role was like a sort of like a cybersecurity support staff. That's what I'll call it. But that was during my Cyrus, or I think Cyrus IT. Right. So that was like my first official, I wouldn't say it's like an official role, but it was like the first time that I sort of did something tech related. And what I was just basically doing was to like help people with like issues, right? Software issues and things like that. So that's kind of what I did. Did I plan to end up there? Yes. Because I needed like something to give me that basic experience. Right. So it's like, I think it's what people would call like an IT support staff right now in like tech in a proper like organization setting, right? So that's kind of what I did. I needed that because I needed like some form of experience. I would say I plan to end up there, but yeah, that was like my first ever role, and it taught me a lot. So yeah.
All right, that's fair.
My first ever tech role was, does an internship count as a role?
Yeah, I mean, I would count it. That was the first time you were doing something like aside your personal learning.
Asides my personal learning and asides my business. It wasn't.
Cyberpreneur.
I like laughing a lot.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm such a
no, but
laugher.
Chinaza is always happy, and I like
Yeah,
it.
you laugh.
I'm a laugher. Oh my god. Okay, cut.
You're
Let me
not
be
cutting
serious.
anything. Oh yeah, see what you would see.
My first ever tech role was an internship, a cybersecurity internship actually. And did I intend to get there? Definitely yes. This was after like 6 months of self-learning. I just needed to like get a lot more hands-on experience and all. So yes, I planned to get there. Sorry, Joy, I lost my train of thought. What was the last question?
Yeah, I think she answered it.
I think
Is that all? Okay. Yes, I definitely did plan to get there, and it was beautiful. Although I had issues with my boss like the first 3 months in, but we became best friends after that. So yeah.
For me, I think my first ever role, I think it should be with, I will go with what Chinaza said as well. I think I was doing an internship, and it was as a digital literacy instructor. And I did not plan to get there.
You were the digital literacy instructor.
Yeah, like I was like a part-time, like if the main instructor was not there, I was the one teaching, right? And I was not teaching Gen Z.
Teaching millennials.
Yes.
That's interesting.
How was it?
Well, you know when you have to break everything down to simple.
I've heard that there are hard notes to crack when you're teaching.
Well, it was actually like what led me to realize that at one point in time I would like to go for leadership, right? I like to be able to communicate my thoughts better to people, for them to be able to understand what I'm saying. Like, you know, having been a good like public speaker, how to talk to crowd and everything, like how to, you know, engage people that they'll be interested in what you have to say. I think that's where my whole interest for leadership came from. So each day I will actually plan ahead on what I was going to teach them, right? And actually break it down. Like I have to break it down. Sometimes I even write it in my notes, right? I have to break it down. I was teaching like the whole how to turn on your laptop.
How to turn on your laptop.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't know how to use mouse.
How to turn on your
A
laptop.
lot of people don't know how to use keyboards and how to turn on their
How to
laptops.
use- how to
Josiah.
I'm sorry, but that's like
A lot of people don't know how
Exactly. That's why it's called digital literacy.
scrolling
Yeah.
works on a mouse. Take it from me. I literally saw
Okay,
someone
so
discover scrolling on
let
the
me
mouse.
ask you a question. What's like the average age of these people?
I think they are early 30s down.
What? Early 30s and you don't know how to
That's
scroll. Like, you don't
basically
know how
Gen
to...
Z, man. That
You,
was
you escaped Gen
Y.
Z. You escaped Gen Z by the whisters. Like you should.
No, there's
be
some
able
people that have
to.
not touched a laptop. Like
There are
they
a lot
have
of people
never
that
touched
haven't
it.
still, so
So
It's hard to believe, but anyway.
extend
anyways,
grace, Josiah.
so that was so that was like my role, like teaching them how to like navigate the whole Windows system, because they wanted to really use Microsoft, like the whole Microsoft
Oh, yeah.
Excel, PowerPoint. So
Yeah.
that was like what I was teaching them how to use Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. Like that was basically what I was teaching
Interesting.
them. And yeah, and I think at every point in time when I finish the classes, I'm like, did you understand? If you don't understand, drag me back up, because I actually wanted like their feedback, and the feedback will help me like become better on
improve on
what I was
yourself,
teaching,
actually.
right? So although I did not plan to end up there, it was actually a good experience. Right. So I think the second question I would want to ask is, what was the one thing you wish someone told you before you started out in this your journey, your tech journey?
Chaza, I'll
I
let you start.
I wish someone had told me that it wasn't going to be an easy ride. Don't get me wrong, I'm not all out for the easy things, but it helps to just know that you're getting into this. It's not going to be a walk in the park. You're going to have problems understanding some concepts because they are foreign to you, and applying those concepts is where the problem comes in. And I think this applies to like almost all the fields in tech. I'm not just speaking from the cybersecurity point of view or programming point of view. You get the whole idea of what. Let me use UI UX for example. You get the whole idea of what wireframes are, but how do you apply them when you're designing? So I wish someone had told me that you're getting into this. It's nice that you're getting into this, but understand that you're going to have to put in a lot of work. You're going to have to break your back, literally, have a lot of sleepless nights. literally, because most times your working condition might not be ideal and you have terrible sitting position and sitting chairs. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Yes, and you'd have to have like a lot of sleepless nights. And I do not like sleepless nights. I love sleeping. I'm currently still having sleepless nights, yeah? And it's going to mess for me, this is from my own point of view, it messed up with my whole sleeping schedule. Up till now, I think I have insomnia. You get? So I think when everybody's trying to get you to come into the whole tech industry, they don't speak about the downsides of it, and I think that's what we're going to do a lot of that.
No, we want 6 figure in 3 months,
and then exactly there's this hype about. Trust me, I got into tech because, like I said, my brother chose computer science for me, but I actually got into tech because I felt like it was going to be easy money. So I was one of the people that fell prey to that. But it's not easy money. Like I would always say, there are people that actually get that money in 3 months, 6 months. I would
lucky
not,
people.
They are the outliers. I call them the outliers, and that's
like
exactly
0.1%.
what they are. The outliers. The chances that you're going to be part of this 1% of the 1% is low. And you have to really face your reality as a techie, especially as a techie in Nigeria. You have to face your reality. Your first tech job might be 150K. Unfortunately, asking for a security plus certification.
And for those that don't even know, like security plus is like security plus is like
500K, 400 to 500K.
That's about $400.
That's like 400.
As at like
no,
last
I checked
month.
recently. It's $425.
That's like 600, and they are going to pay you like 150K. That's unrealistic. That's daylight. That's daylight robbery. But like that's what we experience in the tech industry. Let's not talk about the whole toxic workplace. I think we have an episode to speak about that. But I wish someone just laid it out bare for me, so I knew what I was getting into. Discovering these things, it's been fun, but it's not been so fun.
Yeah.
But I would not trade the experience for anything, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. So for me, I think I would always say this, and I would also still buttress on Chinaza's point. I think I said this in the first episode, which is it's never a get rich quick scheme, right? It's like you have to stick with it for a long time, right? Keep showing up. The odds of you being one of the outliers that get to make like 6 figures in the first few months is almost, I can't rule that out, but it's going to be so hard, right? So it's like you need to stick with it and actually build proper substance. And then I think one thing I need to mention is that it can get very unhealthy, and like people don't talk about this enough. Like, I think that was one of the things that it's as a result of the tech. I'm wearing glasses right now. Let's start from there.
Me too.
We all,
Us
for
three.
instance, exactly.
Okay, us
Right. It can get very unhealthy because you're staring like Chinaza said. Sometimes you get bad posture because you're at your laptop. You're looking at your laptop. You're looking at your screen. Sometimes, like for those people that like remote, right? Sometimes you're literally indoors, which is not exactly healthy. You're indoors throughout from morning to night just because you're trying to do one or two
messes
things.
up with your mental health.
Exactly.
When you don't meet KPIs.
Beautiful. Right, you're not getting sunlight, and for those that are in the office, it's like
we have vampires.
Yeah, you have
Exactly.
toxic colleagues.
it can get very, very, it can get very unhealthy. But what I would just say is, one of the things I wish I knew earlier was that number one, it's not a get rich quick scheme, right? It takes some time, and number two is like strive to find balance as early as you can, right? I know people, so I'm one of those that believe in like you can find balance even if you're early, right? I know someone that's like more senior than me in the industry that is like, there's no balance, there's no work-life balance, right? If you're starting out, I have my reservations about that. I would just say, right, try to make that. Exactly, but just try to make sure that this doesn't consume you so much to the point where you lose.
You don't have yourself. A life.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the thing I would say.
Well, for that work-life balance, I think currently I do not have one. I will just state it. I hope to find some,
the
right?
first quarter of this year, I had 0 life balance. I had just work balance.
You had just work. There was no balance.
There was no balance. Just work.
All right. So, anyways, I think for me, the one thing I wish I knew someone told me before starting out, right? Like I said before, I knew that I was going to study cybersecurity for a very long time.
1% of the 1%.
But I did not think about meeting professionals before even entering the university, right? What should I expect? What should I learn before?
That's a very good point. That's
even during my university year, I think I started like on cybers like 40, right? To really understand what I want to do with this degree. I don't want to just keep it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I knew that, okay, I wanted to be like a SOC analyst, I would have actually been doing Track Me and Hack the Box was there was there for a very long time.
I've always been there, yeah.
I would have been doing it. I would have been beyond my peers, right? If it was programming, I would have been doing it, right? So it was after I was not trying to navigate and everything. So I wish like I actually met exactly, not like direct mentorship per se, but not that advice, but like, okay, you're trying to go here.
Someone in the industry, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't really, I was still in my hacking. I'll be a hacker. Exactly. So I just thought that, okay, I would definitely like do that, right? I mean, to come to me naturally. Come where? Anyways.
But that's a very good point.
Yeah, that's one thing I wish like I knew, right? Because I think if I knew that, I wouldn't have even gone to university. Honestly, I would have taken like an online this thing.
I think it speeds like the pace at which you grow.
Yeah,
I think it makes you grow faster when there's someone.
Right.
So.
But regardless of everything, I think the growth I've learned a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like for myself, like navigating things for myself, and also I also learned how to ask questions a lot from people politely and from Google and from YouTube, right? So I think that's what I wish someone would have told me when I was starting out.
Yeah.
Right. So I think on episode 1 we talked about like programming, like if you really need programming to in tech, if you need programming in any like tech field. Obviously we have some tech field that we need programming, right? To make our lives easier for automation, the whole PowerShell, to build softwares, right? To make things more secure. But right, do you really think that everyone should learn how to code? Or right? So is it just like a myth? Because I feel like it's a myth. right? If you are starting out in tech, I would not say
I needed that disclaimer.
I would not say that. I would not say you have to know how to code. You are free. You are free
So your
to not know
personal
how to
opinion
code.
is you don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I don't think as you are starting out or the type of field you choose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if it's something that you know that okay, you want to get better, you want more advancement, like you want a better job, and you know that okay, this is what to make me get this and this, then we just have to. Like for me, I know that for DFIR I need to.
DFIR again is digital forensics and incident response. Oh yeah,
Please, you
continue.
could go look it up, right? It's actually there. You could get more information about it, right? But I knew that okay, when starting out, I was like, programming is not for me at all. But right now, I'm actually learning that, right? Because I want to like make my life better. Because it's not me that I'll be looking at logs or when I can just automate something.
Yeah.
Sharp,
do that for you.
right?
Yeah.
So exactly. So that's why, and it also puts me like in a better position when I'm like looking for advanced jobs or something, senior roles. Yeah, exactly. That's for me. What's your own take, Chinaza?
I was about to come in and say, okay, I think you might want to learn coding. It is not an absolute necessity, but I don't think that concept in tech is going extinct anytime soon. Now, let me speak more on this. There are a lot of no-code products. Joy mention of automation. There's N10, and you don't need to code for you to work with N10. But knowing how these things work from the back end helps a lot, depending on the field you're in. For a UI UX designer, I don't think you need to know how to code. But for a cybersecurity professional, now this cuts across blue team, red team, white team, purple team, whatever team you're on.
Rainbow team.
You would actually need to learn how to code. It's a very annoying concept. I take it from me. Like I said, Python don't swallow me twice, but I'm still going at it.
4 years.
So
4 years.
Chinaza, what you're saying is if you're entering cybersecurity, learn how to code.
If you're entering cybersecurity, you don't need to learn how to code. But if you want to advance in cybersecurity, you need to know how to code. Now, let me speak on this. You must not really write code. Like in the blue team aspect, you don't really need to write code except you're doing security engineering, but you need to understand code.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Because
the main thing.
sometimes when you're analyzing logs, like Joy said, and they're what we call payloads. Now, payloads are more like
Into the technical stuff.
they are codes. It's basically maybe a malware that is written in Python, PHP, whatever. You need to know what AI would help you, I assure you. But from the first look at that code, you need to actually know what's going on.
Exactly.
So you must not know how to write it, but you need to know how to understand it. And let's be honest, how do you know how to understand it if you don't know how to write it?
Yeah, very good point.
So if you're getting into cybersecurity, you don't need it for a start. But if you really want to make the big bucks, and if you really want to advance in cybersecurity, you need it. Now, obviously, software development, your life is literally code. So I'm not going to talk about you guys. Data analysis, you need Python. So yes, you need code at some point. If you want to advance, you're going to have to leave the old Power BI and SQL. Those are like basics for data analysts. You would need to know how Python works. So I think it's basically depends, like Joy said, on what area in cybersecurity you're trying to get into. My advice would always be do your due diligence, do your research. And if you have coding experience, it doesn't kill. It's an added experience, an added skill, actually, and it would help no matter what field in tech you're trying to get into. So, yeah.
Nice.
Jose, before you go in, do you think GRC?
I was about to. I had a lot to say about that. I had a lot to say about that
I
because
knew Jose was going to come in because he's the GRC analyst here.
I think honestly,
I wouldn't say it's a necessity, but like I would say it's an added skill.
okay.
Josiah, can you see?
Here's what I'll say.
Am I making sense?
No, you are. But so for me, I would say the energy you would use to learn how to code, understand like cybersecurity tools, understand like a lot more cybersecurity focused things, right? Because as a GRC analyst, for instance, you're almost never going to interface with code, right?
True.
For the most part,
Finished work.
You're either like analyzing things that are more cybersecurity focused and stuff like that. So, and that now takes me back to what I was going to say, which is that personally, I don't think you need to know how to code going into tech, right? Chinaza has an objection, but Chinaza, let me land my thoughts, right? Which is that, and the reason why I think so is because there's so many, even in cybersecurity, for instance, you could do cybersecurity sales. It's great to understand how the products work, right? But I would not tell you that, oh my God, you need to be a full stack dev, right? If you understand the technicalities, the logic around it, right? I think you're good to go with cybersecurity sales. GRC, for instance, kind of similar things, right? More cybersecurity focused. Okay, Chinaza, no, nice. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts.
Okay, no, this is not a thought. This is a question.
Yeah, sure.
From a blue teamer to a GRC analyst.
Sure.
I know part of the ISO 27001 and XA control speaks about like secure development and all.
Yeah.
So when you try to carry out an internal audit, and you need to verify evidence of things like that, how would you do that without knowledge of coding?
Yeah, I think you're talking about something that is very nuanced, right?
Okay.
GRC is bigger than ISO 27001.
No, I'm speaking from that point.
Yes, yes, that's very true, right? So, for instance, and for the most part, you don't need to be head deep in code to understand that people adopt certain practices, like safe code practices, right? Do you do your testing outside of prod? Do you do all these things? You don't need to be a developer, right? And at the end of the day, for a GRC analysis, like, do you understand the evidence that is being provided to you? Are you able to test that, okay, they actually do these things, right? So it's like, that's a very nuanced, and I think that's a very good question. That's very nuanced, right? So, but personally, I would say, like you said, to advance, you need it. To get your foot through the door, absolutely not. Fields like cybersecurity sales, you might even be earning 6 figures and you don't even know how to.
My girl is earning money.
Exactly. And you don't know how to do anything that is like,
she doesn't know anything. She just knows how to sell.
Know how to talk.
She just knows how to talk.
Do you know there are people that are into cybersecurity education that all they do is to talk.
Yeah.
GRC, so there are people in GRC that are making big bucks. All they know how to do is talk.
Some people, cybersecurity awareness, that's their work,
and they're making shitload of money.
Right, and then other fields in tech as well that I don't think you necessarily. The thing is, I think people look at code as a very, very big, like, oh my God, like, if coding seems very complex to a lot of people.
It is complex.
It is until
to us
it becomes
techies.
Not complex.
Yeah.
I think
still complex.
I think if you meet a programmer now, they'll basically tell you, it's so simple.
Nothing.
But somebody starting be like, it's complex. So until that beginner actually reaches the stage where you can say it's so simple.
Every field in tech is like that.
Yeah, and I think you just have to pick your own poison.
Because I know when I started cybersecurity, it was interesting, but it was still very difficult for me to grasp to some extent. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you, Josiah, for that clarification.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. So basically, I think that when we talk about tech career paths, right, there's actually no paths for this, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to find a career path for pen testing, obviously there are some guides online that will tell you exactly. That will tell you do this, but you don't necessarily need to follow that, right? Because what works for A might not work for B.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So like there's no like clear path for that. You just have to like find yourself and find what works for you. Right, you have to start somewhere. You have to be very, very curious and basically keep learning.
And as genuine interest.
Yeah, and as you go, you continue to still figure it out.
Absolutely,
and you make a lot of mistakes.
So, can anyone like share any like resource that we can use to like actually pick a career path?
Okay. If you go on YouTube, there's this series, A Day in the Life of. So it cuts across like different career paths, not just cybersecurity.
I have a very big objection, but
like There's that,
You're
but
just
I
the
would
same
not.
coffee cup.
See, do you know that like I think a day in the life
Mm.
type content is one of the biggest issues we have in tech. Like I honestly think so because a day in the life is just going to show fancy screen,
Not going to show the
coffee
positive
shop.
sides of it.
Exactly. They don't really. You don't know.
But Josiah, I was not done.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out because I have an issue with it.
Google will still be your best friend.
Yeah,
Google whatever tech field you're looking to get into. Go on Twitter. Watch YouTube videos, research on it, and actually decide if that field is really what you want to do with your life. And for some people, when you're researching, you don't just get the whole light bulb. So you have to like start learning like we did, and then you realize this is not what I want to do with my life. So give yourself grace. You might not have the time to give yourself grace because you're trying to make something out of life, make something out of yourself, but give yourself grace to enjoy the journey of discovering what field you want to be in. Because I tell you something for a fact that no matter how much you dilly-dally, I love that.
Dilly-dally.
No matter how much, at some point later in life, those skills are not useless. It will come out to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for a fact. So enjoy the process. If you have the time, enjoy the process. If you don't have the time, do your research properly, pick a niche and just get your head into it and say, this is what I want to do. And by the grace of Almighty God, you'll be fine.
Amen.
Okay. Johnson.
I think for me, I would say a roadmap.sh. I think it's a website that actually shows you various roadmaps. It's not only for programming, right? There's a whole lot for if you want to go into cybersecurity, is there. If you want to go into programming, is there. Software engineering, like this whole everything is there. I think you should actually try looking that up. And there are also some GitHub repositories that you can actually look at. I don't really remember the names there, but you can actually search for GitHub cybersecurity or GitHub tech repos, right? And I think you'll be able to see something there. Yeah.
I think this is a very hard question because when you said roadmap, I first thought cybersecurity, but then I now realized, it's bigger. You're talking roadmap for, I think leverage. Chinaza said Google, right? And I would also say, to add a bit of nuance to it, I would say leverage AI. And what I mean is, for instance, if you're starting out, right, you could ask AI for sort of first of all, what does this being a DFIR analyst, what is the actual job description? What do you actually do?
What's your day-to-day?
What's your day-to-day? I think that gives you insights, right? And that could help you then, from there you could then leverage, initiatives like, for instance, GSOC, right, which Chinaza runs, but initiatives that then give you a structured learning environment.
The free ones, please.
Free ones.
There are a lot of free resources out there, guys.
Free ones, but like I said earlier, which I was objecting to what Chinaza said, which is that don't just consume day in the life content on TikTok or YouTube, right? Because they don't exactly tell you,
the frustrations behind the screen.
Exactly. And then also, Joy mentioned this earlier, which I think is super important, is ask people in the industry.
Oh my God, I forgot to add that.
Ask people in the industry, tell them what it's like, ask them what it's like, and they will tell you, and that will help you.
A lot of stress and a lot of time.
I don't think you can navigate tech alone. A problem you're currently facing, someone has faced that and solved it.
Exactly.
Spot on.
Right.
Your network is very important.
All right. So the next question I want to ask is how did you find yourself? How did you find your niche in tech? Right? How did you figure out that, okay, this is the field that you want to do and that you're going to stick with, right? So I'm throwing this question to Chinaza.
Have I found my niche yet in cybersecurity?
You're still finding it.
I'm still figuring it out, guys. But there wasn't really much research to be done about security operations. I knew I wanted to be on the defense part of things because I had a case where my whole USD wallet was wiped because I clicked on a coin sweeper, on a Telegram bot that was a coin sweeper, basically. So took me from level 10 to ground zero, basically. And I had to start my life from scratch. No savings. I 2 months down the line, I still get up from bed and go to my Binance account to see if my money was back. But it wasn't. So I knew I never wanted that to happen to me again or happen to someone I know, because that experience was terrible, I can assure you. I had family to support me. That was why I was able to come out of it. I think I was in depression for like over a month, because that was like my entire savings from working for like 3 years.
What?
Wow.
So yeah, still a very soft story. You can hear it from my voice.
Oh my God, everything just
So I
sad.
knew I wanted to get into the defense part of things. I wanted to help other people and ensure that they don't experience what I experienced. Now I still dilly-dally. I think at every point in time in this podcast, when you hear dilly-dally, just know it's Chinazada speaking. I still go into the red team side once in a while, because for you to actually be a very good defender, you need to know how an attacker works. So, but yeah, I just knew, because this was from a personal and a very emotional point of view, that this was my niche and this is where I want to be my entire life. Of course, I can freelance when there's money in other fields, but yeah.
You are money 5 and 6.
I'm an Igbo girl.
Okay, I think for me, how did I find my niche? So there are various fields in cybersecurity. And like I said earlier, I said it was the first thing. I think the first thing for everybody was they want to be a hacker, ethical hacker, right? But then after more research, I actually found what resonates with me more, right? And I found my digital forensics and incident response.
DFIR.
Yeah, so I looked at the day-to-day role and responsibility, what it involves, and I also looked at the salary involved as well.
So you love money just as I do.
Right. Right. Like everybody does. Right. I think once I did my research, I knew that was what was going to work for me, and I started looking for ways on how I was going to like get better at that field, and that was what stuck for me, honestly. Josiah, what about you?
How did I pick my niche? I would say I'm still figuring things out, right? But so because I kind of do like different like things, right? But so for GRC, for instance, I think this might sound very cliche, but I think I like to teach, right?
Yeah,
I kind of think
you can talk.
Yeah, he loves talking.
Well, I don't mind conversations. I don't mind speaking about stuff, right? But particularly like teaching stuff, right? I think I kind of, can do okay in that aspect. And I think for me, it was like, how do you bring that into cybersecurity? Right? How do you blend the both of them? And I just like found out. So I think I was having a conversation with the first person that brought cybersecurity, that brought GRC to my notice was Emmanuel, right? So like you both know him. So we're having a conversation like a couple years back, and he was like, like GRC is actually very nice. Like, 'cause I was trying to figure stuff out. And I started to look into it, right? It was a bit overwhelming, but then I figured out that this would probably be the best place for me to like bring my personal skills into cybersecurity. Then for blockchain security, it's kind of different because like I've been, hands-on with blockchain since like 2021. Right. So for me, that was like, okay, now since this is what you do, how do you then bring the cybersecurity into it? Right. So that I then figured out that like, okay, I could then leverage like both of them and then, mix it up, and then I found blockchain security. So that's kind of it for me. That's how I found my niche. And I would say I'm still, exploring other fields in cybersecurity, right? I'm still trying to, as I'm expanding my skill set, still, narrow down to more like unique, like to a more unique niche in cybersecurity. So yeah.
Blockchain security though, that's like crude oil.
Chinaza keeps saying this is
the
crude
way
oil.
she looks right now. The way she's looking.
No, because
No, it is.
Web3 is the future, obviously.
Absolutely.
So like having to secure what is the future. It's just like AI security.
Yeah.
It's crazy, crazy fun.
I think we should meet Josiah later. Let's
Say I would need a roadmap.
Sensei. Sensei.
But the thing with blockchain security is that you have to know how to code. At least you need to know a certain language. That's the thing. So for instance, now you need to know anyway, just to digress, so you need to know like Solidity for like EVM, and so Solidity is like
exactly.
So yeah, that's
another conversation for another day.
Conversation for another day, because
I mean, you don't have to be so proficient, but at least you need to know how to understand what.
Guys, you have to understand that for you to make the big bucks in tech, you have to do the unconventional things, the hard stuff. You cannot keep running away from the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm not running away from Python.
If you're looking for a free scholarship, you need to work hard for it.
You have to put your head in and
And I think one thing I want to point out is that even if you are in tech, right, or you're still trying to navigate into tech, you must still have something that you're doing that is still giving you.
Please don't go and quit your job and say you want to get into tech.
Yeah.
Joy, are we meant to talk about this now or in another episode?
I don't know. I think I should leave it for another episode.
That's a whole episode on it.
I would speak about this from my own experience. No be beans.
Especially if you're doing tech in Nigeria, guys. Like
Financial freedom is not only with cybersecurity, tech money.
No.
Okay, we're almost wrapping up, and right, the last question for this. Please don't laugh at me. The last question I want to ask you guys is for someone listening right now, right, and they're trying to switch into tech, what would you advise they start with? I think it was just a general question, right? Just one person to answer this. What do you advise that they should start with? Where do they start?
Yeah. That I think for me it's I would say learn the basics of IT. Learn the basics of IT. Learn how softwares, hardwares,
how computers,
how they work in tandem, right? How they communicate to each other and stuff like that. And I think that would give you a very good basics. Then from there, I think it could help you. You already have an insight, and then you could then pick a niche from there, right? Aside you speaking to people, but I would say first thing is to learn the basics of IT.
Yeah.
Never skip the basics. You would always come back.
Right. Okay. So I think that we have come to the end of our episode.
So soon. I was having so much fun.
That was fast. I have no idea.
We hope that you listening to us has helped you breathe a bit. You laugh with us. We hope that it's relatable, right? I remember that you are not alone. So if you like what you're hearing, do not forget to actually follow us and tell a friend also who is also still figuring tech out, right? So see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.